So the All Blacks have just announced their November international squad, and there are very little changes compared to what we saw in the Rugby Championship. A few returns from injury, including a pretty big one in that number 9 jersey. But overall, very similar to the Rugby Championship, like I said. But looking through at the hookers, it is Asafa Moore, Cody Taylor, and George Bell as the three that they have selected. So no changes compared to what we saw for the Rugby Championship. There was a chance maybe we could have seen Ricky Riccatelli make his way into that hooker spot, but they have decided to keep the young Crusader George Bell as the third choice option, and perhaps he'll get some minutes up against the Japanese in the props. It is the same six as they recently had: Ethan de Groot, Tyrell Lomax, Fletcher Null, who did have a bit of an injury, but he is now back from that, Pasilio Tosi, Ofa Tuangafasi, and also Tamaiti Williams. In the locks, no changes. 4 from 4 of what they did recently have. Scott Barrett as the captain, once more for the All Blacks. Tupavai, Patrick Tuipulotu. Now, he has had a few injuries of his own, but he is now back. Josh Lord was his injury replacement, as well as I believe Isaiah Walker-Leawiri was getting some training in for the All Blacks, but now Tuipulotu is back, so more than likely those two that I just mentioned will be with the All Blacks. XV, and the last lock, it is Sam Darry keeps his spot in the All Black squad. Looking through at the loose forwards. Now, this is where there could have been a couple changes for the ABs. Someone like a Peter Lakai was talked about quite a bit. Maybe removing one of the sixes and bringing in another man from a different spot, but instead, Scott Robertson has gone identical. Ethan Blackadder, back from his injury. Sam Cane keeps his spot in the side. Summer Penifee now. Luke Jacobson, Dalton Papali, who did very well in the most recent game of the Bunnings NPC, Artie Savia as the vice-captain, and then also Wallace Atiti, who became the breakout number 6 for the ABs throughout the Rugby Championship, really cementing that jersey for the November internationals. Moving on to the halfbacks, this is where we see the introduction yet again of Cam Roigard. Now, it's been an extremely long time since we've seen that man in an All Blacks kit. He played extremely well for the Hurricanes up until his injury, played in the most recent game of the Bunnings NPC alongside Dalton Papali and got himself 2 tries from that performance. So it makes you think he's right back where he wants to be and ready to take some starting minutes from the other two. And those other two are TJ Piranara and Cortez Ratamas. So the only man to lose his spot in this whole side compared to the Rugby Championship is actually Noah Hotham. They have gone with 2 first fives, Damien McKenzie and Bowden Barrett. So no Harry Plummer. He is another man who got brought in for the injury cover and now does lose a spot in the midfield. Geordie Barrett. Now, he won't be available for the Japanese or Irish games, so that brings maybe an opportunity for an injury replacement. Last time it was Che Fiaki. Perhaps they will look down that same line. David Havili. Why is my big question. Like, yes, he's a great player and he's had some good moments in the past, but based off current form, I cannot work out why David Havili is in this All Blacks squad. He played for Tasman in the Bunnings NPC, and yes, he had a couple decent moments, but he's still costing his side, no matter who it is, a lot of tries. His Crusader season was lackluster. He'll need a big November internationals, or else I think people might be quite upset. Rieko Ioane, Anton Leonard-Brown, and then also Billy Proctor there. Hopefully get some minutes, as the last time we saw him was up against the Fijians. In the outside backs, this is where we see Caleb Clark, Will Jordan, Ruben Love. So it's great to see that he is going to be back from his knee injury that he did get in the Bunnings NPC. Stephen Perafeta, another injury return for the All Blacks. Sever Reese, and then also Mark Talia. So one change in this All Blacks 36-man squad compared to what they had in the Rugby Championship. Is it going to be a winning combination? Can the All Blacks make it 5 from 5 like some are speculating for these November internationals? Those are the big questions. Another question people probably have is, where am I? This is not the normal setup. I'm currently in a completely different country. Before filming this video, I was out in a park. There was this big lizard. It was quite interesting. But as soon as the All Blacks were announced, shot home. It's currently very hot. But hopefully you guys did enjoy that squad announcement. A little bit quieter than normal because I am in the hotel, but nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We will have our All Blacks XV video coming out in the near future, so be sure to keep an eye out for that as well. But do let me know what you think of the squad. Are there changes that you feel should have been made? And how many games do you think the All Blacks will win in the November internationals. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all for the next one.